Good morning. Please join us in our opening hymn, From This Bright Hour. From this bright hour and days to come, as we have gathered into one, open the gates and the light will shine all around. Let there be light. Wounds of the world begin to heal as peace with justice is made real. Open the gates and the light will shine all around. Let there be light. All are welcome, all invited with open hearts and open minds. In our living, in our learning, may we always be searching for truth and light. Now is the hour, join in the song, here in this place where we belong. Open the gates and the light will shine all around. Let there be light.
Good morning, everyone. Please be seated. Welcome to family worship here at First Unitarian Church of Portland. Our mission is to nurture the individual spirit and together to work toward building the beloved community. One special announcement this morning. Next Sunday, we will have a special guest leading this family service. Her name is the Reverend Allison Miller, and she is the candidate to be the next senior minister of our church. She will be here and she'll share a special story with us next Sunday. Reverend Allison will be here for a whole week to meet people in our congregation, including a gathering on Saturday, May 21st from 10 to 11:30. That will be for families, prospective families, and volunteers in our learning community. If you want to attend that event virtually on May 21st, you can register through the church website. Once again, welcome, everyone. Every Sunday, we light a chalice here in our chapel, and Reverend Bill will light ours this morning. If you're joining us from home and have a chalice or a candle, we invite you to light it now. We are Unitarian Universalists. We light this chalice in faith, in hope, and in love. Unitarian Julia Ward Howe wrote a Mother's Day proclamation that appears in our church hymn book. When she wrote this, she referred to sons because they were the ones who were sent off in times of war. And this is one section of her Mother's Day proclamation. Our sons shall not be taken from us to unlearn all that we have been able to teach them of charity, mercy, and patience. We women of one country will be too tender of those of another country to allow our sons to be trained to injure theirs. Come now, and let us worship. Today I want to tell you the story of that famous Unitarian named Julia Ward Howe. She was born over 200 years ago on May the 27th, 1819. She was a writer, a poet, a speaker, and she fought for fair laws, for women, and she fought against slavery of black people. She was described as a tiny, red-haired, peppy woman who cared about people. That was one description that I read. I want to show you a photo of her here. Now, this being Mother's Day, we have a special reason to be proud of Julia Ward Howe. She started the very first Mother's Day 150 years ago, but her vision of the day was not quite like we celebrate Mother's Day in our times. She wanted this to be a day in which women in countries all over the world would work for peace. Peace was the real reason for Mother's Day in the beginning, but most of us today don't know that. But let me tell you a little bit of that story. In 1870, there was a major war in Europe called the Franco-Prussian War. Julia Ward Howe was horrified by this war because she said it was fought over a problem that could easily have been settled without killing people. There did not have to be war at all. She thought to herself, mothers should step into these matters of wars. It is the mothers who have the babies who raise the children, and they do not want to destroy human lives. Women have a responsibility to try to get leaders to use peaceful ways to settling conflicts. Now, in those days, most people thought that women should stay out of politics and leave such things to men. But that did not stop Julia Ward Howe from trying. She wrote a paper calling for the women of the world to unite and to work together for peace. She had it translated into other languages, and then she traveled all the way across the ocean to England to organize what was called the Women's Peace Congress. She needed to organize her own gathering because the men who were organizing other peace organizations at that time told her that she was not welcome to speak at their conferences just because she was a woman. But Julia Ward Howe did not give up. She rented a meeting hall and she held her own meetings. Now, not many people came, and she was disappointed, and she returned to the United States. But when she got back, she carried out another idea. She started a festival which she named Mother's Day, a special day when women all over the world would speak out for peace. She chose June 2nd as the day of that early Mother's Day because the weather would be good at the time, and she figured that it would be good to gather at a time when the flowers were in season. For many years after that, Mother's Day was celebrated on June 2nd as a day for peace in Boston and New York and Philadelphia and other cities in the United States and in England and Scotland and in Switzerland. Then in 1907, a woman named Anna Jarvis organized a memorial in honor of her mother, Anne Reeves Jarvis, and she chose the second Sunday in May. Now, this is the second Sunday in May, in recognition of her mother and of Julia Ward Howe's Peace Day. Anna Jarvis worked hard for an official Mother's Day, and she issued a proclamation. And in 1913, her efforts paid off, and Congress made this, the second Sunday in May, a national holiday to honor mothers. Now, over time, the connection between Mother's Day and peace efforts has mostly been forgotten. And yet, all over the country, women organizing for peace and justice happens every day of the year. Women have been at the forefront of peace and justice movements throughout our history. Here in the United States, one of the most significant social justice movements of our time, the Black Lives Matter movement, that was started by three women, Alicia Garza, Patrisse Cullors, and Opal Tometi. Since they started their movement here in our country to eradicate white supremacy, their movement has gone all over the world. So today, on this Mother's Day, May we honor the mothers and grandmothers in our lives and in our communities. And may it also be a time to remember and to support the collective action of mothers and women to create a peaceful world, including people like Julia Ward Howe, people working for safe communities that will thrive. This is what mothers do. This is what mothers have always done. Thanks for listening to the story today.
There's a place that I know where the sycamores grow and daffodils have their fun, where the cares of the day seem to slowly fade away in the glow of the evening sun. Peace when the day is done. If I go there real late, let my mind meditate on everything to be done. If I search deep inside, let my conscience be my guide, then the answers are sure to come. Don't have to worry none. When you find peace of mind, leave your worries behind. Don't say that it can't be done. With a new point of view, life's true meaning comes to you, and the freedom that you seek is won. Peace is for everyone. Peace is for everyone. Peace is for everyone.
Peace is for everyone. I want to take a moment to say something personal to you all. The adults here will know this as a kind of a point of personal privilege. I've been the senior minister here at First Unitarian for 12 years. And the younger folks here and online have never known another senior minister here. I'm the only one that you've known. And you might think that ministers never change. Reverend Tom has been here for a long time. He's been here for 27 years. But at the end of next month, at the end of June, I will be retiring from First Unitarian. Now, I had planned to retire sooner, but the church asked me to stay longer until we were at least beginning to gather again in person. And here we are. And as Reverend Tom said at the beginning of the service, the minister who has been recommended by our search committee will be here next week in family worship. You'll be seeing her right here. What I want to say to all of you is how grateful I am for the chance to have been your minister. I have loved serving this church and serving you. That is what ministers do. We serve for a time. And we often offer blessings, like the blessings I have offered when the congregation dedicates young people. Some of you remember those dedications, I'll bet. Perhaps the time when you were dedicated in the sanctuary, when we've said your names and given you a rose to mark that day. Ministers offer blessings. Well, the opportunity to be your minister here has been the blessing for me. And I want you to know how grateful I am, how blessed, really, to have served this church and to have served you. Will you pray with me? Relax now. Get comfortable. You can close your eyes if you like, but you don't have to. Take a deep cleansing breath in and release it. Let it out. And another one in and out. Spirit of life and of love. Great Spirit that moves within us and surrounds us and holds us. Spirit that we know by many names and by no name at all. Be with us. Be with us on this day when we celebrate all those who care for children, all of those who have helped us along the way, and all of those who have helped our world become a more loving place. All those who have insisted that peace is possible, that justice can be real, that building the beloved community is something we can do every day. On this day, we remember them and thank them for all they have done and for all they have tried to do. To those who have gone before, to our ancestors in our families, and our ancestors in spirit, like Julia Ward Howe and the women who founded the movement for Black Lives, and so many more people who have used their lives to work for justice and for peace. Our prayer is a prayer of gratitude, of thanksgiving, of giving thanks. Thanksgiving for the way they made the world a better place for us to live, but also for the way they showed us that we can do that too. One of the great gifts we have received are the stories of how people have tried to help, stories that inspire us to become helpers in our own lives. On this day, our prayer is a prayer of gratitude, of thanksgiving. These are times of change, and the ancestors tell us that we can help make those changes become changes for good. May that be so. Ashe and amen. This is the day we have been given. Let us rejoice in it and be glad. Go in peace. Practice love. Amen.
Please join us for our closing hymn. Go now in peace. Now I see that we might have some singers in the congregation, and we might want to try this as a round. So after we sing it through one time, I'll keep singing, but if you want to try and sing after me, I'll sing Go Now in Peace 2 times, then you can jump in at the beginning with Go Now in Peace, and I'll be playing your part on the piano if you get lost. Or you can just sing with me, and it'll be fine. All right, ready? Here we go. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere,